I want to talk about cultural decay. And we have this story here from the Daily Mail. Women hikers throw the kitchen sink at gender stereotypes as they climb scaffold pike with washing stations attached to their backs in fight for equality.
Wow.
Congratulations to Emma Woodhull, April Wilson, and Zena Clark for carrying kitchen sinks on top of a mountain. Okay, I have so much to say about this. For one, I hope everybody's laughing a lot right now looking at this image of women with sinks strapped to their backs.
I understand.
I honestly think this reinforces the gender stereotype. It's like you went hiking, but instead of just hiking, you have brought a sink with you, reinforcing that you are to be around it. That's a terrible idea.
Can never leave the kitchen.
I really respect it. You know, it's been difficult for me to figure out how to do shows like this when I have to stay in my kitchen. As you know, I also under the table have a kitchen sink.
Right.
Did you finish the dishes yet?
Yeah. So this is like a really working on it.
Right.
But so here's
With your feet.
Here's what I see here. There's a couple big things in this story. One, people are insane,
Yes.
right? No, I mean in kind of a colloquial sense, like there's no logic behind this. It's a stunt. They're trying to get attention. They got it. The media wrote about it. Hey, let's do a
workout
stunt.
too.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a good workout.
It's a good workout.
I mean,
it's like a farmer's walk up a mountain.
That's true. That's true. Well, that's a positive.
Right.
It's
My
like
point is, though,
negative.
Yeah.
why would someone do something so absurd? Clicks, Instagram likes. They're peacocking. They're trying to flutter their feathers, be like, notice me. They're doing nothing to actually target patriarchy or whatever they think is going on. They're making no cultural change, no political change. This is the perfect example, in my opinion, of the narcissistic, vapid youth. I shouldn't say youth. I mean, these people are 40. But
They're
like
40.
Yeah, this generation that doesn't understand the problem, doesn't have a solution, but stands on top of a pedestal holding a kitchen sink so that people notice them and they can claim they're doing something. This exemplifies all of it.
Listen, you don't know what it's like to be so attention starved. They're dying here. They're going to be hospitalized in 2 weeks if they don't get more clicks.
Yeah, what is the purpose of their movement here? What were they doing? Protesting patriarchy? Is that the vague?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the
I think.
Numbers go.
Gender stereotypes. Protesting gender stereotypes by reinforcing them with a kitchen sink on a hike.
We are worth more more than this?
I feel like they should have carried porcelain sinks.
Yeah.
So
pretty
like,
heavier. Yeah.
It's been 52 years, right, since the start of I guess the gender equality stuff. 70 was around the time we started seeing more women enter the workforce. 52 years. But no matter how much they win, and they are winning, they're more likely to go to college, less likely to be homeless. Millennial women and younger make more money than millennial men. They're still acting like they're the oppressed victims.
Yes.
Well, to an extent, I do think people hate women now more than ever, but it's their fault. I
would
think,
say, yeah.
You know, when I was growing up, when we would like banter back and forth, like even when I played a bit of video games when I grew up, the jokes were always like, go make me a sandwich or something. Now they're like, go die in a hole, you like slur. Like people, I think the gender dynamics have become so just escalated because there's so much tension and hatred because we've been so pitched against each other where it's like, oh, I didn't get that job because a woman just got that position because she was a woman. She got to become the fighter pilot in the military. She got the professor position. She got the scholarship, whatever it is. And now instead of just seeing women as humans, because feminism was like, okay, we're equal. Now men see them as this like force that's trying to dominate them. And it's become really sinister. It's quite sad. It's quite sad to see us pitched against each other so much.
I suspect that feminism is a lot like, so I don't really care for unions anymore because they've served their purpose and now they're done. Right. I think that feminism is exactly the same. They accomplished what they set out to, and we had Richie McGinnis's mom on the show, and she was talking about the stuff that the legitimate struggles that they actually had to get women to have equal rights to men and for the ability to work. That's great. That's fine. We have all that now. We're done. We don't need feminists anymore. I really don't think we do. And we're doing stuff like strapping sinks to our backs, lightweight sinks for the record. So it's not like they're doing any kind of military drill.
They're lightweight?
Yeah. Well, they're like
not porcelain.
Yeah, they're metal.
Right.
They're
like aluminum.
I've carried things like that before. So they're like aluminum. Yeah. And it's not a big
disappointing,
deal.
actually.
It's just
they didn't commit to it.
Exactly. They really didn't. Yeah.
Probably
honestly.
smacks the back of their legs while they're walking. Though.
Yeah. No, feminism completely unnecessary.
I'm a little disappointed they wore shoes.
I do believe we're intellectual equals, men and women, which is important to maintain. Like,
what does that mean?
That we're both capable of doing math problems equal. Like no man or woman coming out of the womb is going to be better or worse because of their gender in intellectual capacity.
Men on average are going to be better at things like maths, but I do think that it's obviously there are women that can meet and rise to that level. And I also think it's really taken for granted different types of intelligence, like EQ, emotional intelligence. I do think women tend to have higher emotional intelligence than men.
What does that mean, though?
Like ability to read people, process emotions in social situations. And these things are studied quite extensively. So it's important to see averages and differences, but then judge people as individuals.
Yeah,
sure.
Ian, there's something called the greater male variability hypothesis, which shows that males are more likely to be extremely stupid, but more likely to be extremely smart. So when you look at the highest and lowest end of the bell curve for male talent, be it math, be it basketball, so here's the issue when it comes to the Fortune 500s. Out of the however many companies that exist in the world, 500 get that top slot, the Fortune 500, the biggest, the best. So when you have 100 men and 100 women, and on the female bell curve, 5% of women are really dumb, 10% are below average, and then you've got 70% average, then 15 slightly above average, and 5%. My math is way wrong.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Like that.
10%, 20, 30, right, 70 in the middle.
Yeah.
So the issue for men is that you're going to have 50% in the middle, way more dumb people, but way more smart people. So if you have, out of 100 guys, 10 in the highest end of the bell curve, and then out of the women, 5 in the highest end of the bell curve, and even then the highest high point is male, now do a top 10 ranking in ability to run a business. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to have 9 dudes and 1 chick. Or not even that. There are 10 guys and all of them competing against them. All the women may lose. That's not anomalous. You only got 15 people competing. Now, in all likelihood, the top 8 slots will be men and then 2 will be women. And people say, how does that make sense? There's 50 men, 100 men and 100 women. It should be equal, shouldn't it? No. Because you will also have substantially more really, really dumb men. This is why I think so many women think guys are dumb, because there's a whole lot of really dumb guys relative to women.
Equal is a very vague term in that it doesn't mean the same. It doesn't mean we're the same. And I think in the past, the extremes have dictated the generalizations, like, okay, 8 out of 10 CEOs are men, therefore men make better CEOs. But that's not, across the board.
I think you need to make space for the women who are good at that, because there are women that are not going to be the norm. They're not going to want to be mothers. They're going to want to pursue careers. They're going to find that really, really fulfilling, and you need to make space for that. And as long as there's space for that, you're fine. What we're doing now, unfortunately, though, is we're trying to force women into a larger space than they even need.
Well, I would put it this way. Luxuries eventually become necessities. So cell phones, for instance. When cell phones first came out, it was a novelty. Seeing the guy with that really big phone. And it's like, if I'm in this 1 block radius, I can call my work. Then you got car phones. And all of a sudden now, it's a luxury. You had the opportunity to make a call from your vehicle. Most people still operated under, you call me when I'm at the office or at home. When cell phones became ubiquitous, all of a sudden now you got 2 workers. One with a cell phone, one without. Who's getting hired? Oh, do with the cell phone, hands down. I can call you at any time. I can get answers to questions. Hire the person with the cell phone. That luxury became a necessity, and now you're not going to get hired if you don't have one. Women entering the workforce. It started out as women who want to work can work. No one's saying they shouldn't. We're changing things. And then once women started entering the workforce, you now had dual income households competing against single income households. And so all of a sudden, you have a business that says, listen, we've got a dual income household. They can take the job for $30,000 a year, because the husband and wife are both working. Sorry, I know you have a family, but you need too much money. I'm going to hire the woman. Now you've got double the workforce overnight without a doubling of the work supply. And then you see suppression of wages, you see collapse. And eventually then you come to a point where women have to work. It started out as they can if they want to. And now it's, you better, otherwise you're broke, because no one can afford it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about what you said about emotional quotient, EQ and IQ being different. Like, I'll have a conversation with when my girlfriend's involved in conversations. Like, sometimes Tim and I'll get into it, and it'll get heightened, and it'll get fast and loud. And she's like, I don't want to be around the tone. And I'm like, what? I'm not even thinking about the tone. I'm thinking about what we're saying. So to the man, to our brains, it's like the information is more important. But to her, it's like it's the feeling of the situation is altering the way you're producing the information.
And this is the big myth that conservatives often struggle with. We do the facts don't care about your feelings. Feelings are more important than facts. Feelings are way more important.
Feelings don't care about your facts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we need to take that into account. We need what makes people motivated to do anything is how they feel. Anything political. The only reason they care about the facts is because I love my family and I want to protect my family. So I'm going to go look into the facts to see what the best ways are to do that.
I mean, let's be real. If your kid, if your child did something illegal, I think most people would be like, I have to protect my son at all costs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like they know it's wrong. They know it's against the law. And they're like, don't care. My kid's not going to jail.
But that's one of the problems with conservatives. We go to the head first, not the heart.
Yes. Yeah.
Got to figure that
out. I think
out.
it's fascinating. Ben Shapiro's tweet, while I respect it, facts don't care about your feelings, got like 100,000 retweets, goes viral like crazy. When I saw that, I was just like, yeah, but feelings don't care about your facts. Right. And I think that's substantially more important to the conversation, albeit it's wrong. But the issue is, if you go to someone and tell them, like, I don't know, Michael Brown didn't have his hands up, Obama's DOJ came out and said that was not true, they'll just get angry because your facts are meaningless to how they feel about it.
But this is one of the actual principles of the left's organizing. Appeal to the heart first to put the hands and feet in motion.
Yeah.
They figured it out. Like, again, appeal to the heart, get people into motion. Sometimes the facts line up, sometimes they don't, but it doesn't matter. You've got people motivated in the right direction to do what you want them to do.
I keep thinking about God, like the emotions attached to really believing in that and like that's similar to what people in a cult will do. Like, and I'm talking about people that are like in the media cult, whatever you want to call it, on the left or whatever. Like, it's so emotionally driven because they truly believe in it. And I know that emotion is there in people on all sides.
The issue is they may not believe in it, and their brain doesn't let them ever even consider it. They feel physical pain. It's like what Brandon Strzok told us, that when he was first breaking out of the left and he saw the video of Trump doing the arm thing, it was physically painful to be proven wrong. So there are a lot of people, they don't actually believe it. When you present them with facts and hand them the sheet showing it, they get really angry because they know deep down their brain is telling them this is true, but we cannot accept it. We cannot.
A lot of them have personal trauma connected to their politics, as most people do. You look with feminists, and this is something I wish I acknowledged more when I was younger and kind of challenging the feminist movement, is they had bad relationships with their father, a horrible abusive relationship or whatever, and they're projecting that personal experience onto the broader political discourse because it's easier to deal with something that's far away from you than to really look inward at your own personal pain. So they'll try to fight it through these larger political battles. It's the same with Trump. Trump is just the representation of their Christian parents that were distant and at work all the time and not talking to them, and they hate it and they're rejecting and rebelling against it. And a lot of people had those personal experiences with their family where they grew up in a, Christian conservative household that they're fighting back against. They had a bad experience with a man or whatever it might be. And that's their emotional place they're in. And I think we do, as much as they do really stupid stuff and really wreck our society, we do need to see the left as humans that are just, very confused in a lot of ways. And we do need to reach out to them on an emotional level and try to pull them back from that edge. I know we don't like humanizing the left, but we have to.
I don't disagree. I just don't know where you find the middle ground with them.
Yeah, no, I don't think
it's in you. No, you need to feel it. If you cry openly out of joy, out of belief, not out of sadness or pain, but out of truly believing it, people resonate.
The middle ground is not in arguments and political discussions because feelings don't care about facts. The middle ground is in I've brought this up several days now, but we're launching shows at timcast.com. I think right now it's 80% of the content we produce is not political.
Yeah.
The overwhelming majority of it is not political at all. Because I don't want to go to somebody who is only peripherally involved in politics and very angry and start yelling politics at them. I want them to be like, hey man, I don't know about all that stuff. Why don't you come hang out and we'll tell a ghost story. We'll sit around the campfire and we'll have marshmallows. That is so much more attractive to many people. Now, politics has become pop culture. The View talking about Turning Point USA. Right. There are people who are turning on TV for entertainment and then being bludgeoned over the head with ideology. My attitude is this, twofold. One, let's just hang out, have a good time, have pizza, not talk about that stuff. Put these people in an environment where they're away from that and something interesting happens. When they're dedicating their time to watching sitcoms or we have Tales from the Inverted World and we're launching a bunch of other shows, they're not in a world of pain anymore. Now they're going to look back and they're going to see people screaming, but Trump, and they're going to go, that made me feel miserable. Can I just listen to the ghost stories? Because right now I'm just interested. We got to give them a space that is just not overtly political. But the other thing is, when we create cool, fun stuff and we're doing backflips into foam pits, Then we're all over here cheering and high-fiving each other and being like, come on, come party and hang out. We're doing backflips. Sounds fun. It's a bouncy castle. Come hang out. We don't want to talk about that painful stuff. It's an escape. I think that's what we got to do to help people break away from the cult.
Yeah, so many conservatives have just portrayed themselves as we sit and we read books all day and pray all day. You know, praying's good. You should do it. But we're humans, too.
This is the thing about,
we're scared to show that human
But this
side.
is the thing about like Turning Point USA is like I think they do great work, but they're all suits. You know, like CPAC, TPUSA, these big events, and I'm like,
grow your hair out.
no, look, man, you're
connected to your nervous system.
There's a certain kind of person that idealizes facts don't care about your feelings. It's correct. You know, facts matter more than how you feel about them, in my opinion. But politically, feelings matter more to the average person. So my attitude is just like, where is the space for people who are sick and tired of the woke cult who just want to watch some guy do a backflip?
Escapism.
Just relax.
Yeah.
You know, escapism. Here's what happened. I'll tell you this. We're working on a video game. We showed you guys the video game earlier today. We're working on a video game out here. And it's because I'm like, people want to play a video game and what happens? All of a sudden it's wokeness. They make Battlefield, or what was it called? Was it Battlefield? Where the woman had like purple hair and like a prosthetic or something, and everyone's like, what is going on? Every movie's got to be some political message. Every show's got to be political. As much as I'm a fan of the show The Boys, it's just, come on, stop hitting me over the head with this stuff. Does every show have to be like this? Resident Evil, it's like, come on.
Yeah, I don't even think. Oh, what were you gonna say?
I don't think it's escapism when people want to. Like, I like off-roading. I like going out shooting, swimming every other day. I don't think any of that's escapism. I think that's how humans are supposed to live. Life is lived in the in-between. We're not supposed to be thinking about politics every second. We're supposed to be actually spending time with friends, family, and it's okay for people who are political personalities to go out and show that side of themselves, to say, actually, this is what's important to me and this is how I want you to be living. That's why I care about politics. So you don't have to worry about the government infringing on your ability to do these things and actually live your life with your families. So we have to care about politics, but it's not what we're supposed to be doing 24/7.
Agreed.
I think about like the universe and consciousness, and like sometimes people are like, oh, he's a psychedelic tripster. Think, wasting.
Yeah, get out of here, hippie.
But like it's self-preservation and the preservation of our species, because every 20,000 years this planet gets hit by comets, or however 40,000 years everything's reset, everybody's wiped out. So we need to get off this planet if we want to keep having conversations about politics. And I'm a big advocate of communicating about politics, about social structure, but we have got to focus on science.
You create a space where, like, Timcast has a news outlet as well, right? But we've been investing heavily in Tales from the Inverted World, and I will just tell everybody, for those that are interested in knowing, the click-through rates, the cost per click, all that stuff has been ridiculous. Like, so we're doing ads. This is Shane Cashman. He went down to Georgia investigating lost Confederate gold. It is only political in that sense of the history. But for the most part, it's just his journey meeting witches, UFOs, someone threatened to kill him because he's trying to find this gold. It is just outside of the realm of modern political culture war stuff. Yeah. And the click-through rate is like double or triple what we see in other ads. We've only recently started doing ad stuff. And I'm like, this is good news. Regular people, when you go on Facebook, you see them inundated with memes about politics, anger, and hatred. And it's like, let's promote this and pull them out of that space and then allow that kind of hatred to evaporate for a little bit. But here's the best part. Timcast.com has a news section with true facts. So if they're doing nothing but watching MSNBC and getting wrapped into it, we pull them out and offer them a space to just relax and watch ghost stories or sitcoms or Chicken City. And then if they end up seeing the news is neutral, straightforward, and fact-driven.
What do you do when you're not involved thinking about politics? What are your main focuses?
Hunting.
Oh, what kind of stuff? What's your hunting style like?
Deer. I'll do everything. Crossbow, muzzleloader.
Crossbow.
Regular.
We got deer out here like crazy. Every night when I go back down, there's a bunch of deer in my lawn.
Brother-in-law and I, actually my son, we hunt. We'll do the knock them down in the woods, field dress them, bring them in. We process them in the barn.
So when you get a deer, like, do you make a bunch of different kinds of meat? Do you make like jerky, salami?
My brother-in-law, awesome. He literally will process almost everything on the deer. Either, give the ribs to the dogs and...
You eat the marrow?
I don't.
But I mean, like, do people, like, will take the deer marrow maybe and boil it? Yeah.
Or I don't. I literally take the backstrap, I take the inner tenderloins, I take the rumps, and I typically make those into either a stew or I'll do biltong or I'll do jerky.
Biltong's
What's
awesome.
biltong?
How's deer tenderloin?
It's a South African form of jerky.
It's awesome.
Oh, okay.
It's really good.
Deer tenderloin, is that similar in any way to like standard cow or beef?
I mean, it's the inner tenderloin is the best part of a deer, and I soak it in whiskey, garlic, salt, and pepper overnight. I beat it out, and then I fry it with some fresh eggs from our chickens.
That sounds amazing.
And you do it right, it's superb.
I had a friend who brought me to this dude's house once, and they did a full process. They had every kind of like meat you could make from a deer. So it was like this big platter.
We have done. My brother-in-law was like, we've got to do some sausage. So we did. Half of it is sausage, half is venison, and then we did jalapeno and we did cheddar. Amazing.
Sounds amazing.
Stuffed? You stuffed?
Yeah. We stuffed our own sausage. You comes through
The
and
intestines?
yeah.
I like your
It's awesome.
answer to his question. You're like trying to find what's your like non-political chill thing. And you're
Non-political.
like, oh yeah, when I'm not destroying leftists, I'm
I'm
killing.
I'm killing things in the
murdering.
woods.
Prepared.
Well, it's
Yeah.
deer though.
Yeah.
What about turkeys?
Turkeys are terrible.
Yeah.
Have you ever eaten any wild turkey?
Nope.
They're awful.
Yeah, it's
They're not wild? What's bad about it?
They're extremely lean meat, and I probably screwed up on how I prepared it. I've heard people that you just gotta slow cook it like crazy to get it to where it's edible. What else do I do that when I'm not shooting things or destroying leftists? I'm actually big into horticulture.
Oh.
I've got my orchards.
like
I've
that.
got
Orchards. What are you growing?
peaches, apples, cherries. Got a raised bed with blueberries.
What percentage of your diet would you say comes from your own production?
Not enough. I mean, I want to get to the point where, I don't know, during deer
Half?
season, no, not half. We've got the eggs, we've got some venison. The only problem is there's not many people in the household that love venison, so it's like...
Yeah, well, you eat what you eat, you know what I mean? We brought your deer back, time to eat it.
Yeah, we do. I mean, part of the other raised bed is like a jalapeno, tomato, poblano peppers. We're doing salsa garden.
Okay, you got to stop describing food. I'm about
No,
to
it's
walk out of
amazing.
here.
So, no, I mean, we do have fun. I do other things outside of politics, and it's actually, I mean, it does actually, like, you get away from it, and you become you fully realize, all aspects of your humanness. And
I think people listening, especially now, should start figuring out how to create a larger percentage of their own calories.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
No, this is one of the things I'm trying to figure out. We've got 30-some acres, 21 of it's forest, and we're trying to figure out how can I make the other 10 acres or so productive,
Yeah.
and what can I do with those.
We've got too many eggs here because we now have like 30 chickens and the new ones are starting to lay.
My wife is a chicken lady.
We are going to have
Yeah.
like 25 eggs per day.
What do you do with them when you have so many?
We're giving them to people.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
We had the same situation.
Yeah.
We've had a raccoon fox situation, so we don't have that many eggs these days.
We had a
But
raccoon problem, but that was taken care
What's
of.
more dangerous, the fox or the raccoon?
So here's how it works. The raccoons just pick them off one by one. Usually,
They just murder them, right? They don't even eat them.
they suck the blood out of them. They're literally vampires. Yeah. The foxes will come in, and it's a massacre in like 10 minutes.
Oh, because they're having fun.
They're just killing them,
Yeah.
killing, and they'll drag a couple off, eat them. But there's just I went down one time. It was probably 3 or 3:30 in the afternoon. Everybody was fine. Had to go back up to the house. The barn's maybe 100 yards below the house. Went up back to the house, did some stuff, came back. I'm not kidding. 30, 40 minutes later, like 15 of them were dead.
Wow.
The fox had just come and nailed them all. I don't think I
Do you
was able
shoot
to
'em?
kill that one.
Have you ever
We
shot
have-
the foxes that come?
I
to the
have,
chickens?
yeah. This one of them got away, partly because the neighbors have horses and it was not a clear shot, so I held back, which is the right thing to do. But the other one I shot, and then there've been some raccoons
Shooting your neighbor's horse.
Yeah, no, that would be fun. Yeah, no,
Hard to
raccoons,
explain.
Raccoons are
We had
nasty.
they are
we
nasty.
had
Two
a-
barrels of a 12 gauge takes care of them.
We got a raccoon problem. We set up a trap. We took care of one of them.
Yeah.
So I mean so this is what's worrying is that we have dogs, and they're still coming around, which they shouldn't be because our open area right now of the chickens is not
Yeah.
particularly large. But I saw a fox. So we have a cat. His name is Bucko, and I'm recording one day. This is a couple months ago, and he's sitting in the field, and from my studio I can see the whole backyard. I can see the chickens, like really wide view, and I see him sitting just in the middle of the field in a loaf like cats do, when a very gaunt-looking fox starts creeping out of the brush and slowly moving towards him. And my cat, being dumb, just stood there staring. And then I was like, I'm in the middle of recording a segment, 15 minutes in, so that's nearly done for my morning segment. And I stopped. I got up and I ran outside and started yelling, and the fox did not run, and I had to, jump over the fence or jump over the railing and like run down, and the fox took off. I'm worried the fox was starving. That's why it was coming onto the property, fearless of the dog and going after my cat.
Yeah.
And my cat's too stupid to run away from it. Just sat
That
there.
cat was going to rip his face up.
No, that
That's
fox
what I
was
wanna
probably going to eat
believe.
that cat.
Right.
And then when the fox ran off, cat just looks at me and then just looks back at the woods and just doesn't even blink.
Do you have coyotes out here?
I don't know. We have coyotes.
Well, so there's been a crossbreed that's developed between wolves and coyotes. They're called coyotes. We have them on our property. I haven't heard them recently.
What are they like?
They look like small wolves.
Wow.
They don't look. I mean, we had a ton of. I grew up in Kansas. We had a ton of coyotes, very like obvious coyotes. These coyotes look like small wolves.
Are they vicious like wolves?
Yeah, I mean they're pretty aggressive. I'll go through the forest. I haven't seen anything recently, but you'll go through and it's literally like a pack of them hit a deer and there's parts everywhere.
I've been thinking lately, are raccoons a kind of animal that we would be better off wiping out, like making extinct? Or do they do any value to the system?
Trash pandas.
They're kind of cute.
No.
Have you
they're
guys ever
horrible.
seen that video of the guy's dog being attacked by a raccoon, and he's like above a stairwell and he grabs the raccoon and just like flips it around
Whoa.
and throws it down the stairs, and all you see are these little glowing eyes disappearing into the abyss?
No.
No, okay, it's a great video. You gotta find that one.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.